think we were on break.
Yeah, I get it.
All right, hey, now we're starting, so just don't say anything, but let me talk.
All right.
An umpire and a vampire square off week after week, reviewing movies outside their own strike zone. This week's movies, the 2016 Don't Breathe, and the 2011 Moneyball, starring Brad Pitt, Stephen Lang, Jane Levy, Robin Wright, Jonah Hill, Dylan Minnette, Chris Pratt, and Athos. Now, two guys who know the chances of being killed by a bunny are low, but also know it's never zero. Tim Crutchman and Jeff Miller.
Woo!
There we go.
Are you excited?
I am.
I'm excited to be
Wait,
back.
this is not inning 8. I think you're wrong.
No, it said season 8.
Oh.
Inning 6.
Inning 6, we still got 3 more weeks after
Yeah,
this?
we do. I'm pumped, man. That's because we took forever off.
I know. I'm surprised you have anything.
I had a
listening.
great trip. You had a great trip.
A couple trips.
Yeah.
I had 2 in there.
Oh, that's right. You did. You had back-to-back tricks. Not tricks.
Tricks.
He sometimes does tricks. But do you know?
I know a lot of things.
Do you know that they just held the silkworm race? They did a silkworm race.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it ended in a tie. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you're listening to Dead on the Bases. I'm the Vamp. This here's the Ump. I love horror movies, so for some reason I watch sports films. He loves, well, frankly, he loves sports movies, but he also loves horror movies. He just won't admit it. And he gets to see good, wholesome family entertainment horror films every week. We call him just Mr. Lucky.
Okay.
We call
I'm
him
the
Mr.
Ump.
Lucky.
I'm the Ump.
You're the Ump. Now, Jeff is probably best known as a Milwaukee Sports Media Personality of the Year award winner.
Yes.
5 times because he was confused with another broadcaster that was also named Miller. So that's how that worked.
Wow.
But no, really, Jeff has been working hard in the sports industry for a very long time.
Yeah.
Really an institution.
Okay.
Or he should be institutionalized.
Oh.
You knew I was going there.
I knew
you
you
knew
were.
it.
Yep.
All right.
Yep.
So tonight, I am going to be reviewing the movie Balls of Money.
Moneyball.
Moneyball. I said it wrong. I'm
Yes,
sorry.
you did.
I'm going to be doing a Moneyball, and Jazzy Jeff is doing Don't Breathe.
Yes.
Now, unlike the other Jazzy Jeff, you're not going to punch anybody, right? Oh, no, that was the other guy.
That's Will Smith. Yeah.
That's Will Smith.
Which,
Okay.
that was all staged anyways.
You think so?
I do.
I don't.
Anyways, let's get on
I-
with the show, Tim.
Do you think it would be difficult to find a reason to smack him right in the mouth?
Who? Which one? Chris Rock?
Yeah.
Well,
He's always saying stuff that he should be
but
smacked.
I just think it just seems so
he
staged.
shouldn't be. He has a right to be a comedian. He's actually one of my faves, but I'm surprised it doesn't happen more often, to be honest. Ricky Gervais, I'm shocked, never got
That was awesome.
There.
That was awesome.
He was the best host, though, by a lot.
But didn't it seem... No, wait. Let's, before we jump into all this, it did seem staged. The way he walked up there and he paused, and then he did this kind of slap. It just... it seemed staged to me.
I think he
really
didn't know. I don't think he knew. We're talking about stuff that happened a year ago. I don't think
that's okay.
He knew he was going to do that before he went up there. I think it was totally spontaneous.
All right.
At some point, he was already walking up there, and his emotions took over. And, but what's funny is he hit, well, none of that's funny, but he hit Chris Rock. But if you see interviews with Martin Lawrence, the new Bad Boys is out, he looks like he may have taken a couple to the head. He is losing it. I think he was fed lines one at a time. Did
you see it already?
Looks like no, but in these interviews, it kind of looks like he might be getting the dementia.
But the thing of
He's
it is,
60 years old.
Is he really? Wow.
Yeah, we're all getting older.
But the thing of it is with Will Smith, he was so bent by what Chris Rock said, but yet he lets his wife be with other guys. So so you know what?
They're in Hollywood. They all have no morals.
I know, but I mean, why would that get him all bent? He should be like, oh, he's telling the truth. He's, my wife's cheating on me all the time. So whatever. Anyways, it's not my problem, not your problem.
You know what?
Talk about a couple movies.
For?
What?
Time for Moneyball.
Good.
Moneyball.
Good. It gives me a chance to relax a little bit.
Moneyball.
Are you sure yours is first?
I'm sure.
All right, let's do it.
Because I write this stuff down because I know Jeff's going to ask, hey, whose turn is it to be first?
Whose turn is it to buy food?
Yeah, right. We're constantly forgetting this stuff. Hi, I'm Tim Crutchman. I'm the good-looking one. Oh, wait, I'm sorry.
You're the
Hey,
horror.
I got a review on Moneyball. Now, you know what's interesting?
Where are the clips?
Jazzy Jeff. They come in time.
That's what she said.
You know, oh my God. We are off
That's
to
what
the
Jada
races.
Smith says.
We are off to the races. I don't need to get slapped.
That's what I'm going to use from now on. Instead of that's what she said, I'm saying that's what Jada Smith said.
I don't think that's going to get anybody
Bring
interested.
it, Will. Bring it. I'm ready for you.
Yeah. Anyway.
I've got my water, Joe.
You would do anything for promotion. This is crazy. Moneyball,
They're
made
paying
in
us.
2011. I need our friends in the chat room to check if Moneyball or Draft Day, which one was made first. I have a...
Draft Day was made first.
Was it?
Yeah.
Because
I don't know. I just made that up.
I think Draft Day was made second based on the success of this film.
I like Draft Day.
Because this film it's got a lot of the Draft Day vibes.
It
for
does.
me. All right, so Moneyball stars
2014 Draft Day.
Okay, so it was right after Moneyball made a bunch of money. It probably got greenlit. Jeff's about to fall off his chair.
No, I'm good. I need yep, let's go.
He almost fell off his chair because he felt that a good review is finally going to come in for one of his movies. Moneyball stars Brad Pitt. He plays Beans Baxter.
No, he doesn't.
I'm sorry, Billy Bean.
Yes.
Which is a male stripper name if I ever heard it. It's an ironic name too because he turns out to be a bean counter. In the movie, he's a bean counter. Right?
When I hear Billy Bean, I think of those burnt beans that you can buy in a bag.
But
don't you?
He's a bean counter. That's literally what he does throughout the entire movie. If it wasn't a true story, you'd be like, what a lazy writer. Right? You'd be like, what an idiot. You're going to call him exactly what he does during the entire film? But yeah. And he and a statistician.
Jonah Hill.
Well, his name isn't Jonah Hill. Jonah Hill's the actor.
Right.
And Jonah Hill actually at this time was still Jonah Whale. He became Jonah Hill when he lost the
Peter Brand.
Peter Brand.
Doesn't he look? He looks weird thin.
Honestly, I don't think he looks well.
No, he doesn't. I'll be honest with you. I don't think he does.
I'm going to try this myself one of these days. We'll see.
No, you're not.
Shut up.
You don't look like that.
He and the statistician played by Jonah Whale actually changed the face of the game. They reasoned if they could get enough mediocre players, they could actually build a good team through their combination of talents.
Correct.
Right? So Jonah Whale is kind of a portly...
Stop.
He's the portly statistician Yale graduate.
Stop.
He does an okay job in the movie.
It's not a hard role to do.
I do want you to look at something. We have the IMDb in front of you so that Jeff can monitor the length of the movies. And read off for me the top 4 stars. Read off to me the top 4 stars. No, the names. The names. They're right there in front of you.
Brad Pitt, Robin Wright, Jonah Hill, Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Okay. Brad Pitt is definitely a star of the movie, right?
Yep.
He's in almost every scene.
I know where you're going with this.
Jonah Hill is definitely the second most used character in the film. He's probably in 80% of the movie.
Correct.
Philip Seymour Hoffman, about 50% of the movie. Mm-hmm. He's definitely third. Robin Wright, build number 2, is in one scene. That she is actually in. And she's a beautiful woman, and they don't let her be beautiful in that scene.
Nah, she's all right.
No, she's beautiful. But she somehow got credited like that. This is a freaking joke. Why did she get... Let me tell you something. Nobody's going, oh, I'm going to Moneyball. I hope there's a romance. That's never happened. Never has that happened. And like, are you kidding me? I do not understand it. And I'm not saying that the role is unnecessary. It was good to have in the movie and gives you balance. Kind of lets you know that Beans Baxter here never does anything, other than worry about work.
Right.
That he's
Correct.
obsessed. So it's an important part, but it sure isn't second build. Are you killing? It's just nuts. All right.
Is that what that really means on here? That's second build? Is that what those mean?
That when they show the names at the beginning of the movie, I think she might have been third, but she was definitely. I think she was second.
I think it would be
because they usually put in screen.
I would put Pitt, Hill, Hoffman, and then I'd put Chris Pratt, and then I'd put Robin Wright.
I agree. Chris Pratt was it. I saw the movie when it first came out. I don't remember Chris Pratt being in it as much as he's in the movie.
Yeah, he's in it a lot. He's the main guy.
But I haven't got to Chris Pratt yet. So hold on. Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Okay.
Oh, I can't hit his balling arm because he's going out with to New Berlin to go beat those guys into the ground.
After 20 years of not playing ball.
You want to talk some trash? You want to talk a little trash?
Yeah.
All right.
What are you talking about? I'm not going to talk any trash. I'm just going to go there, do my job, and be done.
Do my job. I'm just going to score about 38 runs or something. What was with that, with the scenes where I'm going all over the place?
How ironic is it that I'm playing ball tonight and we're doing Moneyball?
Yeah, it is ironic. Thank God we weren't doing Iron Claw. Killer Miller.
I could do it.
A wrestling movie.
I wrestled.
I know, Killer Miller.
I'm multifaceted.
Okay, yes, you. Philip Seymour Hoffman turns in a good performance, which, frankly, that's what he does.
He did.
As an old baseball warrior.
That's what he did.
He played Brad How You Doing How.
It's Art Howe.
Gesundheit.
Art Howe.
And how. Sounds like the Little Rascals. He is sufficiently grumpy, which Philip Seymour Hoffman is notoriously a method actor. So to keep up his demeanor. He was
a method actor.
Okay. But during the filming, he kept up this demeanor by eating deviled eggs and cheese and then refusing to defecate.
Really?
So.
I did not know that. I'm glad I didn't have that as my trivia question.
I'm lying.
Oh. This is why we shouldn't take a month off.
We're rusty.
We shouldn't take a month off. My goodness.
Okay, so then Chris Pratt, honestly, who I forgot was in the film, is in the movie. He's basically there to protect everyone from dinosaur attacks, which is rather sensible. I usually try to keep somebody around to protect me from dinosaur attacks. I have a ghost watching over the house to keep away the dinosaurs right now, like the one that just showed up behind Jeff. Just
stop. Right? I was.
So here's the thing.
I learned about this today.
Here's the thing. The script and the direction in the film actually makes the story of Moneyball, which is a mathematical theory, right?
Yep.
It's a mathematical theory. They somehow make it make sense with a mix of good expository dialogue and helpful video elements, showing
pictures,
the formulas and, all this stuff.
For guys like me, pictures.
Right, but it actually makes it that you can understand what they're talking about. Like the scene where Jeff started jumping around in a seat, where he's explaining, okay, we need to replace this one guy. We're going to replace his statistical abilities by buying these three guys. Mm-hmm. And by the way, isn't that slavery?
No.
It isn't?
No.
Okay. Because they keep talking about buying these guys, and I'm like, that's not right. I was very concerned.
No, it's not slavery, Tim.
I was concerned, and I think you all know I'm very sensitive.
Yep. Yes, you are.
Yes. So, all right. One thing I really want to do is go through the horror movie connections.
Already? Wait a second.
Because, well, there's a reason. So you just
there's a method to your madness.
You just settled down over there. So you're getting a little wild over there.
I think we're just rusty. I think that's what it is.
No, I think you're rusty. I'm just fine. I'm a good-looking guy. All right. Take a look right now. Yeah. Me, Brad Pitt.
Pretty close.
It's hard to tell the difference, ain't it?
It kind of is.
Yeah. I can't help it. I can't help being this sexy.
If you have like a collared shirt on, yeah.
Okay, here's the thing. Again. Brad Pitt has had 86 movies that he's titles that he's credited with on IMDb. They only put one on his as a horror film, and that was World War Z, which he was the star of, and that was a big zombie horror movie. I'm sorry, there are two, because he was also in the movie Seven, which is a horror movie. Yeah,
I'm sorry, there's three.
What was the?
What about Interview with a Vampire?
You're right.
I should get a point for that, people.
You know what?
I should get a point.
I am going to give Jeff a point for that. I'm going to give Jeff a point.
Thank you, Tim.
Remind me
I will.
Later on.
Oh, I will.
Yeah, well, what am I thinking?
Oh, I will.
Of course you're going to. I'm going to give him a point for that, but you're right. And I'm going to write it in here.
I'm going to reach out to IMDb. I'm going to tell them they're not doing a good job.
Honestly, there's no Interview with the Vampire should get a horror credit, and Seven should.
I agree.
Seven's it's a horror movie.
Can I see,
with a twist ending and the whole shot.
I'm not gonna give it away.
Yeah.
But that is the only movie that I've ever watched that I left the theater and I was physically drained. I left that all the emotion, everything was
because you kept jumping out of your seat.
No, that movie was the most draining movie psychologically and everything. It's some kind of a movie, man. That's with him and Morgan Freeman, right? And who's the female? Gwyneth Paltrow. They were dating at the time.
Yes, this was pre-Jolie. Pre-Jolie. All right, next one. We got Robin Wright. Okay, oddly,
she looks like Brad Pitt.
Yes, well, oddly, Robin Wright is a complete loser.
She has no horror
credits.
Wow.
Though, who knows, with IMDb missing Interview with the Vampire and Seven.
Do I get another point when I tell you which one she was in?
Go ahead.
I'm kidding.
Good luck.
I'm so kidding. Go ahead.
Good luck. Then we got Jonah Hill. This one, he's got 66 credits. By the way, Robin Wright, 62 credits. Mm-hmm. So I was kind of surprised. Jonah Hill seems to have been in more movies than Robin Wright in my head. And only by 4, I don't know that I believe that. So, but it's going to get even crazier.
Okay.
Jonah Hill, only one thing. He was in one episode of The Shivering Truth, which I've never heard of before, but it's supposedly a horror credit.
All right.
I'm not digging that a whole lot. So far, Brad Pitt is at a 2% plus. Everybody else is really shitting the bed.
Tim.
So, I'm sorry. They are. That brings us to Philip Seymour Hoffman. Now, yes, as you've mentioned like 30 times to show off, he's quite dead.
I never said that. I just said we have to use him in past tense.
Okay. Well, in the present tense, he has assumed room temperature. He has 64 credits, so he's right between Jonah Hill and Robin Wright. I'm like, what? I thought Philip Seymour Hoffman would have had almost as many credits as Brad Pitt.
I would agree with you.
I was like, wow, he really made a bunch of movies. Now, he has one horror credit, and it's one of the favorite films of Trogdor, who's in the chat room.
Really?
Yes.
Does he know what it is? Can he guess?
Oh, my brother said it right away. It is My Boyfriend's Back, which was an early film for him. I think it's either his first or his second official credit in IMDb. And that movie, my friend, is coming in a future season.
Okay.
You're going to... I don't know what you're going to do.
Before you move on, Susie Snowflake said we missed one for Brad Pitt. Cutting Class? Cutting Class is a horror movie?
I don't know that movie. But I'm not going to disagree with the coroner. I'm just not going to do it.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Susie.
Yes. She's bringing to death. 5. We got Chris Pratt.
CP? 3.
Listen to this horse shit, okay? Here we go. Here we go. In IMDb, they gave him a horror credit for Lego Jurassic World, the video game. But they did not list in the horror credits any of the Jurassic World movies.
Tim, what's going on over there?
I don't know. So I corrected that in the number that we have here. He was, and I think most people in the chat room are probably screaming, he was in Jennifer's Body. Yes, he was. And Jennifer's Body is a legitimate horror credit. So I changed the numbers to fit what I believe was the reality. So 5 out of 72. This guy has more, Chris Pratt has more credits in IMDb than Robin Wright, Jonah Hill, or Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Wow.
And he's just behind Brad Pitt. Oh, wow, is right. Now, we're going to get to, these are the main players in the movie. Yeah. Now we're going to start scraping. We got Reed Diamond. Reed Diamond played the Cleveland Indians.
Yep. General manager. Yep.
General manager. I have been a fan of Reed Diamond because he was on one of my favorite TV shows called Homicide.
Really?
Life in the City. He was in that show. He played a horrid prick in the show. And he was good at it. So I checked him out. Listen to this nonsense.
Okay.
105 credits. 105. That's more than Pitt by about 40 or so.
Okay.
Wait, what is it? Pitt is at 86, and not quite, but 20, a comfortable 20.
Yeah.
He's done mostly TV though, including the 2003 Twilight Zone, The Girl in the Woods, and The Terror. So he's at 105, 6.7%. But as you know, sometimes I go searching.
Of course.
To find us an interesting character to talk about. One of my favorite character actors.
Who?
Nick Searcy.
Where was he in here?
He was one of the scouts. He was one of the scouts that never
turtle?
said... no, it wasn't the turtle.
Right.
This was one of the guys that never spoke or said a word, but he was in the back. I was kind of looking like this. Okay. Nick Searcy, I discovered him as a character actor in a TV show he did called 7 Days, a science fiction show, which I absolutely adored. But get this.
Yep.
He's a Hall of Famer.
He is?
Yes. What? He was in Days of Thunder.
Get out of here.
He was one of the mechanics or something.
Oh my God. Another
in there.
Role where, yeah.
Well, he's a character actor. 7 Days is one of the rare times he got kind of a good-sized meaty role. He played the deputy in American Gothic, which is one of my favorite TV shows. He was in the movie Neighborhood Watch, but the balance of his credits for horror somehow are podcasts and short movies he made, which is weird, but he actually has 10 horror credits out of 140 credits total. Jeez. Which puts him at 7%, but also puts him as the guy with the most credits in the entire movie, a guy that doesn't speak a word. How?
What? Well,
and I'm not talking about Philip Seymour Hoffman. I'm saying how.
Art Hall. Let me ask you a question.
Brad.
Before you get into the other thing.
Yeah.
This is a question I've always had. I never thought to ask it until you've mentioned it a few times today.
Yeah.
What constitutes a character actor? What is that?
A character actor typically is an actor that's hired to, you see him and in one instant you go, that's a banker. Or you go in 1 second, you go, that's the fat funny guy. Oh, that's the guy that's going to be the jerk. Like, you remember the movie Ghostbusters?
Yeah.
Right? Remember there's that red-haired guy? His name is William Atherton, and he's the one that always wants to shut down the
Yeah. I've seen him a lot.
The first time you see him, you go, he's a prick. Then he shows up in Die Hard, and he's a journalist. And guess what?
He's a jerk.
He's a prick.
Yeah.
Every time you see that dude, he's like, he isn't the villain, but he sure ain't helping anybody.
Gotcha. I see what you're
He's
saying.
just a jerk. That's his role. The minute you see him, you go, oh, here comes some pricklitude. And there you go.
Okay.
Right? So Nick Searcy is usually, it was actually kind of surprising to see him here because he was kind of playing kind of a whimpering back at. Usually he plays an authority, a pompous authoritarian character. That's kind of the role he usually gets. He also has one of the most fun Twitter feeds out there.
Does he?
Yeah, he's funny.
I'll have to keep that in mind.
But good stuff. Let's see. Oh, we have to do Pauly Shore too. Holy cow, there is a lot to do here. But you know what else we need to do? Make it rain. It's Moneyball.
That's pretty clever.
You've seen $100 bills like that, haven't you?
Not with our logo on it. No.
Well, now you have.
You know what?
Learning
You know what we need to do?
Oh God!
For Horror Realm next year,
Right.
this is how we should have. We should be
is
handing
what
these
I'm
out.
going with.
We should hand these out at the table.
It happens all the time.
We should do that. That's what we're gonna do. I gotta write that down. That's a good idea.
Okay. You use the good pen. All right.
Wait, I gotta write this down.
There we go. Pauly Shore connection. What do you think? Short route or long route?
It's gonna be something with. Oh, bad. I'm gonna.
Okay.
I saw it already, so I can't answer. Sorry.
It's relatively short.
I gotta
folks.
write this down though.
We got. Go ahead. I'm working here.
Dead on the
here I
bases. $100.
So Brad Pitt connects to Ben Stiller through Megamind, and Ben Stiller was in the film Pauly Shore with a lot of comedians. There's a ton of comedians in there. So really, with Pauly Shore, your trick is to find
Someone
a modern day comedian.
Yeah.
And you can usually connect them through Pauly Shore is Dead. So
we should make it
really,
so that you can't use that.
It's only a 3. No. You kidding me?
I can make the rules.
I'll tell you why the rules to Pauly Shore. There are shorter ones, longer ones. I always pick the one that's kind of interesting.
Gotcha. Okay.
We're doing an entertainment show. You forget from time to time, but I'm trying to entertain people over here.
You know what I'm not going to forget? Dead on the basis $100 bills for Horror Realm next year. That's what I'm not going to
You're going to look at that like 3 days from now and go, what?
No.
What?
No, look at what I wrote down. DOTB, $100. Oh, for Horror Realm. So I might want to take $100 with me. I have to put down make.
You know
$100.
what's going to happen? You know what's going to happen to you? You're gonna use the wrong bills when we're over at Eden Park, and we're gonna get in a lot of trouble. Anyway,
all right,
we're trying to pass counterfeit bills. All right, so it's time to score this.
Score
bad
it,
boy.
baby. Let's see.
Go ahead and give me a guess. I got it written down.
I actually watched this movie with you, so
yeah.
And I know that you didn't really like pan it while we were watching it. So you're gonna give it a decent score. I'm gonna give it like a 7 on today.
Actually, I was thinking 7, and I'm giving it an 8. My brother talked to me about it. That's kind of what his number was. But I was thinking about it on the drive home, which is lengthy from that place. First, you got to get through security and all that crap. But get across the moat.
That's what those gated communities are all like.
Right. But here's the thing. Moneyball, I have no interest in this subject matter outside my brother kind of being in this industry, right?
Right.
It's a baseball movie with, 2 baseball scenes? 2 scenes actually out on the field. So, on paper, it doesn't seem to have anything going for it. But I found myself entertained. It was done in a snap. It was a quick movie to watch. It was entertaining. It was fun. So yeah.
Similar to Draft Day. Similar to
I liked Draft Day a lot too. Mm-hmm. Now, there's no way the deals that they're making, that he's calling up and saying, yeah, I'd like to spend $300 million on this dude. What's his name? Bobby, boo, boo, boo. That's not the way these things happen.
Boo, boo, boo.
Boo, boo, boo. They might as well all have been named that. But I found myself entertained, so I got to go with it.
All right.
Yes,
so we're liking that.
Now,
considering on what I thought of this one. But go ahead.
Okay, here we go.
What do we have now?
It's time to do sports.
Oh, all right.
Do you have sports?
I always have sports.
Are you sure? Have you ever heard of a sport?
I have.
Okay, then tell me all about it.
So I'm Jeff Miller. This is...
And you're not.
This is... No, that's been used. Yeah. I'm Jeff Miller, and this is the sports that I know. The Brewers have scored 244 runs so far this year. 0 of them last night. The Brewers yesterday were shut out for only the third time this season, 1-0 by the Miami Marlins, but are still in first place in the National League Central. The Crew will open up Friday in Boston while still atop of the National League Central. I'm glad I repeated that twice. Dallas down the Timberwolves last night, 108-105 to take a 1-0 lead in the best-of-7 series in the Western Conference Finals. Indiana, the Indiana Pacers, will try to even up their best-of-7 series tonight in Boston. In the NHL, the Oilers head to Dallas tonight to take on the Stars in the first game of the Western Conference Finals. The Florida Panthers have a 1-0 lead in the Eastern Conference Finals over the Rangers. And hometown AHL, the Milwaukee Admirals defeated Grand Rapids last night 3-2 in overtime and now have a 2-1 lead in a best-of-5 series to go to their semifinals.
It doesn't feel like anybody should be watching hockey.
I know.
When it's 72 degrees outside.
I know. Just think Florida's got a team. What's that all? Texas got a team.
I don't know what those guys do over there.
And tonight, Spectrum Electric will win their first game of the season because I'll be there. And I'm Jeff Miller, and that's the sports that I know.
All right. That is Jeff Miller, and now it's time for some people's favorite part of the show, oddly.
We're not talking.
Yeah, I think that might be it, too. It's merch time.
There's a new merch in town.
Let's make some merch money.
Look at this sexy thing. You could be wearing this on a shirt very soon. It's our new merch! Get your Get On the Bases merch right now, and you can
open it up Muskego style.
You know what's amazing, Jeff? You're actually gonna wear that to your game that you're playing in just a half hour or so. And here's the thing that I find amazing about that. You're wearing it because you know the amount of effort you're going to put in, that there's no worry about sweating it up. That's what I hear.
Why are you always coming at me at this direction? Why? Why is that? It's too easy.
Because the entire audience wants me to. Hey, everybody, let's take a look at the clock. 287 days left before Horror Realm.
I can't wait.
Jeff, we have some announcements coming up about Horror Realm. Not guest announcements, but Horror Realm and Otherworldly Culture working on some things behind the scenes, Jeff. Behind the scenes.
Wow.
People don't even know.
Like the wizard in The Wizard of Oz.
People don't know.
Oh, my God. I know.
People don't know.
I do.
You're not people.
I know.
All right. It's time, Jeff.
I'm just the anchor to this show.
You're an anchor.
You're something, all right. You're an anchor.
You weigh us down.
You're weighing us down.
You got it. You are all over keeping us down. Hey, look at that. I'm advertising your Twitter.
Well, that is. Thank you.
Before.
Thank you. Yes. And
yeah. There's your name.
Is my email going to be up there? Because
it's full. Why would we put it out?
No, I emptied
Nobody
it.
Can
I emptied it.
You did?
Uh-huh. I had 2 weeks to empty it.
Did you learn how to read?
There we go.
There we go. All right. It must be open.
I actually had it so that it would speak to me. So I would just run it just like, hello, Jeff. I have a question about Dead on the Bases podcast, and that's like it sounds.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So, anyways, so I had the movie this week. I had the 2016 Don't Breathe. It's an hour and 28 minutes long, and it's rated R. Now, let's start out and let's tell you some stuff about this. I'm going to do the best that I can not to spoil it, but I'm going to spoil a little bit of it right now.
You always do.
No. And what I'm spoiling is the fact that I'm going to tell you now how I felt about the movie, so you don't have to guess. I like this movie.
Really?
I did.
Honestly, my brother and I were debating if you're even going to finish the movie.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? I'm waiting. I'm going to tune in for Don't Breathe 2. So here's how this goes. Now here's how this goes. So what this is about, it's about these three teenagers that are like on the edge of being teenagers and being 20 years old. They're right in there in that area.
Yeah.
And they come from a very bad background. The main girl in the movie, her name is Rocky, but she's played by Jane Levy. Right. You have Alex, who is played by Dylan Minnette, and you have Money. I heard his name when he got
right.
And I'm like, Money.
And you look at IMDb and you're like, that really is? What
yep. Dan Zavato. So these three people, what they do is...
Okay, hold on. We need a moment of silence. Jeff actually pronounced three actors' names relatively close to how they should be.
I've been practicing.
Yeah.
I don't want to be mailing this in anymore.
You have.
This might be
we're in season 8.
This might be my only source of income.
What are you going to tell me?
All right, so here we go.
All right.
So these three hoodlums. No, they're just
they are hoodlums.
They're on the wrong side of the tracks. Actually,
they're thieves, right?
They are.
So
scene. What they're doing, the very first scene, they're robbing a house, and you find out
they're kind of wrecking the house too.
Well, Money does. He's in there.
Money's a prick.
He is. So when whatever. Anyways, so what it is that
put his picture on the money you're making.
Alex,
since you're going to be a counterfeiter.
The Alex character, it's his dad who has like a security company. So what they do is they go to him. They go to him to find out which houses have this security system so that they can go in and break in and take care of stuff without having to worry about the cops coming. All right.
Ooh.
And you find out that after this first heist, Money has got a guy that he brings the stuff to because they never take money. Money never takes money. They don't take any money because then it would be a federal offense, I think. And they could
the way it actually works in this, at least in the story, is they don't want to steal 10,000 because then that becomes a felony.
There you go.
He doesn't pick up money because he's an idiot.
So what
wait, are we going to debate if he's an idiot?
He's an idiot.
He's an idiot.
He deserves everything he got.
Yes.
So here's the thing. So he goes to his main guy and he's like, hey, I know what the blazing is of money. And they're like, okay, let's go to this place where there's going to be some money. They make a decision to go and take, it's like $300,000 or something from a blind guy in a neighborhood in Detroit that has nobody living on the street. This guy is like, it looks like...
It's like taking money from a blind guy.
Right. It's apocalyptic looking area. All right.
Or Detroit.
Right. It looks like
it looks like Detroit.
It's Detroit.
It's Detroit or New Berlin. It's one of the two.
I think you know what they should have had though? Yeah. What they should have had is when they were playing music in the
Really nothing Trovette? Okay.
When they were playing music in Money's car, they should have been playing some 8 Mile, some Eminem, but they didn't. They didn't think that far in advance.
I don't think this movie could afford that.
They couldn't.
Okay.
But anyways, here's the thing. So
it's you. It wasn't me this time.
They go to rob the blind guy. He's played by Stephen Lang. This dude's ripped. This guy isn't no feeble little blind dude.
Did you recognize him at all?
I thought I did, but I didn't.
This guy has done so much television. It's
really
insane.
Okay.
But he's probably, his biggest role was he was the main villain in the movie Avatar.
Oh,
so he was
I know what you're talking about.
The biggest freaking movie ever, and nobody recognizes him from it.
I know who you're talking about.
Unreal. Yeah.
But the very first thing is...
Yeah, he's the guy that looks like Stephen Lang.
You see him in this movie, and the dude's ripped. I mean, he's in great shape for his age. He's in great shape. It's not like I said, some feeble little old man.
He was 20 when they made it.
Right. So what they do is they go in there, and they have some problems right off the bat. You find out that this house is locked down, like hard locked down. Well, it would be because it's a blind dude in there, right?
Right.
That's what you think. But there's a twist. and there's more to this. But I might get into it, I might not.
There are twists and twists.
There
and
are.
twists.
There's a lot of twists. Now, this reminded me a lot of the movie Saw, in the respect that there's some twists, and it's like you're trapped in this house. Saw 2, because I think they were trapped in a house in Saw 2.
Keep going.
Okay. Oh, and Tim is liking this.
I'm gonna let it go.
Okay, now he's a judge.
Let it go. Let it go.
Now he's a judge on Jeopardy. I'll let that go. All right. So then this also reminds me of.
If I ate more cheese, I'd be letting some go.
Yeah, we are rusty here. So, anyways,
You're rusty. I'm hitting
it reminds me of.
I am batting it out of the park.
And I keep forgetting my train of thought.
And you forgot to tell everybody how many minutes long.
I did. Hour 29. I did it right from the very beginning. I did it. I did so. Look, it's right here.
Okay.
Or hour 28. Okay. So anyway,
good job.
All right.
You misread it.
So Don't Breathe.
False information.
Don't Breathe is a 2016 movie. It's rated
Yeah.
R. It's 128 minutes. It's an hour and 28 minutes, which is right in that sweet spot that you want a horror movie to be.
I agree. We
this-
got too many 2-hour movies coming out.
This movie moves along at a great pace.
Yes.
It's like I said, it's harrowing because they're locked in this house. But you think to yourself,
Now this didn't remind you of Collector.
That's what I was getting at. But you kept
Okay.
on talking about cutting the cheese and stuff like that. I said Saw, and the other one was on my head was Collector. It did remind me of Collector,
Yeah.
but Collector was just I don't even want to talk about it because it's awful.
Yes,
But
it's more extreme. Than
But it's
this.
like this, and it's really. It also reminded me of the Blair Witch Project, in the fact that they did the shooting when it's pitch black. There's a point in there where he cuts the lights on.
Okay,
him.
yeah.
And for that scene alone, it was very cool because you're watching these people and their eyes are dilated, whether it's because of the contact lenses or whatever. But it's really a cool sequence of scenes because they're on his level. They can't see where they're going, and he can never see where he's going. You would think that
Right.
if you're going to
blind people can't see.
if you're going to rob a blind person, you would think there are some parts in here that kind of made me frustrated because I saw openings that if it was me, that I could have got around them and got out. I saw areas where I could have done that. But
Absolutely. When we were watching it, my brother and I
So
were
I'm not
watching
off on
this
any of
thing.
this.
We were sitting there like, no, do this. Go over there. But
Right.
what's kind of fun about a horror movie like this is yelling at the idiots on
Yes.
the screen
Yeah.
and say, hey, moron. What they didn't do is they didn't do something so stupid that you said, well, that's asinine.
Yes.
There's that one insurance commercial where they have the people being chased by the slasher,
Yes, and they
they're
hide
like,
behind the-
"Oh, should I go to the car that's
Yeah.
already running over there, or should I go in by all the chainsaws?" Oh, let's go by the chainsaws.
Right.
They did things that you're like, your adrenaline's going. That's something I would do. I hope I don't do something that dumb, but yeah.
I could see that. But there were some points in there where I'm watching it and I'm
Not
like,
to mention they let you know early on these are not brain.
they're not bright.
experts.
Money's
Right.
So Alex is the smartest. Rocky's probably the second smartest, and then Money is just an idiot.
A complete fool.
Complete idiot.
Yeah.
So, and the thing of it, and they also bring in a dog. So you have the Cujo effect in this, and I know
You haven't watched Cujo yet. You are not allowed to say that.
I've seen scenes of it. I've seen scenes of the movie. Come on, who hasn't? Anyways, there's a scene in here that's very reminiscent of the movie Cujo, of the scene that I'm thinking of, and I know what it is.
Mm-hmm.
And that is the dog chase scenes are always harrowing for me. It's always because, man, that person's gonna
Because
trip or they
Tango has attacked you. a
Tango has
number of
never
times.
attacked me.
Tango
I've been
goes
chased by a
right
dog.
for the neck.
I was chased by a dog once,
Well, you know my story.
but I got away. No,
You know my story. Why I'm afraid of dogs.
no, I don't. Maybe this will explain why you don't like Tango.
We don't have time if
We-
you're gonna make it to a game over in New Berlin.
Okay, well, I can hear it at a different time, but I want to
Yeah.
just say, all right, so you throw a rabid dog in
we
there.
gotta have people want to come back for season 9.
Exactly.
Yeah.
You have them locked in this house. It's sort of like Collector, sort of like Saw, and they're trying to get out. Okay, so
Okay.
I don't want to give away anything because I think this is a really great movie for someone to watch. I think this was it's
Oh, this is one of those watch movies.
it's suspenseful. It's going
Mm-hmm.
to keep you on the edge of your seat. Okay, and I have a number like that, and but there's so many twists. But Tim, I got to be careful with this.
You do.
So let me just tell you, they're gonna go to a door that they break open the lock, and when you go down there, that's the basement. But there's more to the basement. Okay.
Right. That's good.
I know.
Okay.
Oh, good. You're coaching me. That's good.
Hold it.
All right. They go and they get the money. Okay. They get the money out of the safe because she just happens to be sitting in the closet where he puts in a code, which I don't know how he did that, but he put in the code. How would he do that? He can't see.
What, numbers?
Yeah.
Do you want to watch me type a bunch of numbers?
I got to watch my fingers.
Right. He doesn't because he can't see them.
And don't you think, though, don't they always say, like, when you're blind, your other senses are more, are stronger?
Correct.
There's a lot of scenes in there where he was, like, right on top of someone. You would have thought that he would have smelled them. Or he would have sensed them.
There were scenes where he was like,
yeah.
like the shoes. They took off their shoes, remember?
That's why.
And at one point, he discovered the shoes, and that's how he knew there was more than one person.
That's what that was. Okay.
Right, and I don't know that I caught that the first time. But this time, because I was cracking wise, I'm like, stinky shoes are leaving in, for it.
You know what?
But there was a reason.
I'll tell you right now, before I get into any more and not spoil anything, I will watch this again just because there is stuff that I want to pick up off of it.
Cool.
So Tim's liking this because he's thinking the rating's going to be.
Well, you know what we have to do though?
What? I'm not done.
I gotta put this in
advantage, bro.
That is a good spot. This actually does have a Polly-Shore connection.
You think I'm going to spoil this?
I'm a little concerned.
I won't spoil it.
But
let's hear the connection.
Jane Levy was in A Little Prayer with Celia Weston. You might. That's why I need to have these photos. She's one of those actors.
Like one of those.
One
like
of those
mom,
people
like
you see a lot.
Yeah.
A character actor.
Gotcha.
And she was in the movie Lost Angels with Polly-Shore. So honestly, this was the most interesting connection.
That is interesting.
There were a lot of really bad ones on this one.
Really?
Because think about it, there's like 5 actors in the whole movie. They're all younger actors with the exception of Stephen Lang. So it was a little difficult. And when I tried Stephen Lang, I'm like, I don't like these. These aren't good ones. He just has a pile of credits. Yeah. So it would have been like, I think I even got it down to 1.
Oh, really? Like he's in the same movie?
And I was like, okay.
That's no fun. That's not fun.
Right. That's not fun. So, but a pretty good Polly-Shore connection.
So what I'm going to say about this movie, not to spoil it, there's even a scene towards the end, the endish, which I thought was the end, but it wasn't, where it makes your stomach turn, and it's you feel sweaty, and you feel like you're right there, and you're like, ugh, and you know what scene I'm talking about.
I do.
I'm not going to even say any apparatuses to this, but that scene is so dirty, dingy, that you just feel Stephen Lang, the blind man, you feel his character, and he does a great job in this movie. I think he plays the. What's that?
I did that just to scare you.
Yeah. I think Stephen Lang, if there was a way for him to get an award or something, I think he played this role fantastic.
He does.
I think he did this job did a very, very, very good job. All right. So here's what I have to say to everyone listening and people that are going to tune into this. This movie is worth seeing. If you haven't seen it before, if you have seen it, watch it again. My rating on this is a 9.
Wow.
Yep. And the reason why is because it's an actual story. There's a story to it. And where some horror movies like The Collector are just, I don't know. But there was a story to this, and I could follow this the whole way, and I actually wanted to last longer.
Cool.
I did. I really liked it.
It does, because there is Don't Breathe 2. I will tell you, I don't think Don't Breathe 2 is as good as this movie, because this movie just surprises you.
Is she in that again?
I can't remember.
Does he follow her to count?
Stephen Lang is definitely in it again.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I will tell you this. I saw both movies. I only really remember the
Okay.
first one
And-
because the second one's kind of
But see,
like
that kind of happens
not
with those kind of
great.
movies like Saw and then Saw 2. They try to go back to the pot, and the pot's dry.
Well, it's kind of like watching a comedy the third and the fourth time. You already know what the jokes are. Same thing with a horror movie. If you go back and you try to recreate the first
Right.
film, it isn't as good. There's this one shark movie I've seen where the sequel, it's good, but it's not quite as...
Until they get to the third one when they really...
Boy, I just line them up for them. You know what, though, Jeff? We got to get you to a sports event.
So I gave you my rating, right? A 9?
You did.
Yep.
And that's why I feel it's time
For
for us
trivia.
to do trivia. The way we do trivia, folks, 3 statements are said. One is a lie, and the other two are true. So do you want to start, Jeffy Pooh?
No, I want you to start because I want to read these over so they sound right.
Okay, here we go.
Thank you.
First one, A will be Jane Levy or Levy. Jane Levy is not related to Eugene Levy. Eugene Levy, of course, you know from Schitt's Creek and SCTV. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
B, director Fede Alvarez, and that is how it's pronounced, Fede Alvarez, is currently in post-production of an Alien sequel.
Wait, which guy is it? Just tell me.
The director.
Okay.
The director
Okay.
is
Thank you.
finishing up in a sequel to the movie Alien, which was in one of our previous.
Really? He's basing it
seasons.
off of those, so it's going to be like a continuation? Is that what you're saying?
It's about Alien. I don't
Okay.
know if it's a continuation, a prequel, what it is.
All right, what's the next one?
The other one is also about director Fede Alvarez.
Mm-hmm.
Not only wrote the script, but also directed the 2022 version of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. So, Jane Levy is not related to Eugene Levy. The director of this film is in post-production of an Alien sequel. Or the director of this film wrote the script and directed the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Which, there's so many Texas Chainsaw Massacres. Can I
This
ask
is
you?
the new one, 2022.
Okay, you did say that.
Came out,
You said that.
I don't know,
In 2022? 2021?
2022.
All right. Yeah, when it came out in 2021, that would have been like...
Which, by the way, is an okay movie.
Is it the one with
It's not great.
Alexandria Daddario?
No, that was like 20.
That's like a 3D one.
2003 or something.
All right, so the
Well, I
answer...
hope it's 3D if you got her.
So the middle one... Okay, whatever. The other one with the Eugene Levy, could you just say how you... Could you repeat the way you read it?
Jane Levy
Yeah.
is not related, not related
Yeah.
to Eugene Levy, who is the
I know who
actor
it
in
is.
Schitt's Creek and
Yep.
SCTV, American Pie.
Yeah, no, I know. The dad.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. Oh God, she kind of looks like him. I'm gonna say that the last one is probably the one that's gonna be false because you're gonna think that I'm gonna keep going with horror. So I'm saying the last one's false. That's what I'm talking about. That is what I'm talking about with my extra point. Yes,
He actually wrote it, but he did not direct it.
I didn't know either one of them. So
Yeah.
I'll take it. I'll take my
Take the
ignorance
win.
as a win.
Take the win.
Yes. All right. Let's see if I can capitalize.
We're all pulling for you, Jeff.
Let's see if I can capitalize on this. All right.
All right.
Robin Wright.
Robin Wright.
Okay. She passed up a cheerleading scholarship to USC to act as Kelly Capwell in the daytime soap Santa Barbara. Chris Pratt has athletic.
Pratt.
Chris Pratt, yes. He has athletic ability. He played football and wrestled in high school. As a matter of fact, he was 5th place at Washington State at the 215-pound weight class.
Okay.
And Brad Pitt, one of his top songs is the 1974 ballad of Curtis Lowe by Leonard Skinner. The name,
One of his favorite songs?
yes.
Okay.
The band named their group Leonard Skinner after their high school gym teacher.
Okay. I'm going to say right now, I feel pretty strong about this.
Mm-hmm.
Chris Pratt was a chubby guy on Parks and Rec, and I know he got in shape so that he could start doing movies like Jurassic World and that. I'm going to say I don't believe he was an athlete prior to that. So I think that was the second one.
Yeah.
So I'm going to say that's the lie.
Nope, that's wrong.
Oh!
Robin Wright was never a cheerleader. She never had a chance to be a scholarship.
She's so hot.
That's why I figured I'd get you on that.
She's so pretty. I like her so much.
I don't.
Really?
You know what? You know what soured me on her? Honestly, she was in House of Cards, and the person that she plays in there, I can't not see that person.
This is why
True.
I'm not allowed to look at the chat room, because my brother put something in there. He said that Chris Pratt was in shape during Everwood. That's right, he was.
What's Everwood?
It was a TV show he was in. So,
Can I tell you something? Before you do all this, I was going to ask you during our show, during my dissertation about Don't Breathe.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you about Jean Levy. If she was Jean Levy, she was.
thank goodness you didn't, because I thought that was a great question. They are not related at all.
Look at this.
in
Look at
any
this.
way,
This
shape,
break was good for me,
or
baby.
form. So let's take a look at the scoreboard. You're looking ahead of our people.
All right.
So you
All
did
right.
well. I did add the extra point
Yes, and I deserve
for
that.
Jeff. That was a good pull. So Jeff did very well this episode.
You bet.
But I still have a pretty healthy lead. You have to make up 20 runs in 3 movies.
But here's the thing: if I can shut
It's
you,
not the thing. We did that in an earlier
if I can
season.
shut you out on trivia and I can hit the next 5, the next
There-
3, that's
you're
15-point swing. That's
You
a
can
15-point swing.
definitely. You are not out of it by any stretch of the imagination.
But wait, put the scoreboard up one more time, real quick.
Why?
Please do
Don't
it.
you want to make your game?
I do. I'll be there.
I'm working harder for you to. make
Don't worry
your
about it.
game.
I want to go back to the scoreboard real quick. This is important.
God.
Stop. I have to say, this season, if anything, look at what you've done with the horror movies. You've actually hit movies that
I'm nailing it.
I've given you 3 9s.
Yeah.
You're
Okay.
figuring
now,
it out.
please,
Maybe you're figuring out the
please,
formula.
everybody, now read the blue line of the sports
Right,
movies.
but I'm just saying, I think you're kind of figuring out my horror movie, like,
I'm putting it
my
together.
formula.
We'll see if you get any upcoming movies with flamethrowers, because we all know that's a thing. All right.
You're right. If you've been watching since season 1, you know.
Yeah, you know. So we're on next week, Thursday,
Yes.
and we'll be telling you the exact running minutes of the movie Quarantine.
Why? What? People need to know this.
We'll be telling you all about that. Quarantine is a legitimately frightening movie. It's a remake of a Spanish film called Wreck. So a lot of people have said I have not been giving scary movies to Jeff.
You don't.
This movie is scary. So I think we'll see how he likes one that actually is frightening. And then speaking of fear,
You get basketball. Now this is a fun movie. This is a lot of fun. This it's a comedy, of course, and it has a lot of sports in it, and it combines sports. And these guys and their team is from Milwaukee. So how can
why
it be
wouldn't they be?
the Milwaukee
Greatest
Bears?
city.
Come on,
The greatest city ever
Ever.
conceived
ever.
outside of Muskego.
That's true. I love
Right.
Muskego.
Muskego basically allows them to exist.
I love Muskego.
It's great. All right, folks. So that puts us at the end of the show already.
Really?
There is
Already?
not going to be a post show tonight
Sorry.
because Jeff has to go and dominate some ass clowns from New Berlin.
That's exactly right. Oh,
Thank you.
clowns. You can't say
Yeah,
that.
I can't say that. We got a great show coming up next week.
We
It's
do.
going to be a lot of fun.
I'm looking forward to it.
watch these movies, at least the horror film.
You know what? Here's the thing. I don't even want to. You know what? I'll be there when I'm be there. But here's the thing, Tim. What did you think What do you think I was going to give this movie this week?
I thought it was going to be super high or super low.
Really?
Yeah. I'm like, he's either going to connect this too much with the collector and hate it, or he's going to see it as it's kind of an action movie and there's a lot of suspense.
There was.
And there's a dog in it.
I didn't like that dog.
There's
Though.
a lovable dog.
Yeah.
That dog, anybody would just want it to lick your face until you died.
All right.
All right. That reminds me. People Under the Stairs would be a good one, too.
I'm not watching that. That's about going in the basement. I don't want to watch that.
You don't go into basements?
I go into my basement.
I do remember you being frightened to go into a garage one time.
Well,
all right.
There was a lot going on at that time. You know that. This is when we just started this show, and you're giving me movies like The Collector and... No, you know what movie it was?
Fright Night.
No,
it was
it?
Fright
Are you
Night.
sure it wasn't that other one?
No, it was Fright Night.
Yeah, well, anyways, we're done.
And I was like, whatever. Hey, it's time to close the Crypt and call the game. Thank you all for watching. And remember to share and subscribe to our show and feed. You can cheer on Jeff at the baseball game in New Berlin tonight. Get your butts over there. You can find this show at otherworldlyculture.com and follow the show on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Podcasts, Pandora, iHeart, TuneIn, Stitcher, Spotify, YouTube, and other fine places you find podcasts.
Oh, and Felissa Rose, happy birthday. Today's her birthday.
Well, happy birthday, Felissa. You know, though, Felissa, if it's sports, I don't know, it's a home run. If it's horror, run home! We're dead on the bases, and we'll see you next time.
Otherworldlyculture.com. The Cubs suck.com. Because they're coming to town this week.
Oh.
Monday through Thursday.
Oh.
And they're going to get swept.
I heard they have such a good manager.
No, they don't.
That he has so much skill.
Why do you...
He's just going to manage his way through...
We had a good show. I dominated this week in the show,
it's
and then
a
you got
good
to
show
bring me down.
You were winning.
Yeah,
that's what makes it a good show.
Yeah,
it was a mess from the beginning to the end. 14, but Jeff has got a good score.
14-9.
He's on it.
14-9.
Hey, good night, everybody.
Yeah,
I gotta let Jeff out so he can go see the movie. See
a movie. I'm going to play ball.
He's gonna play ball. Play ball.
2 hits tonight.
All right.